Hi everybody, welcome to the Graphics Fairy, and this is Tag Team Friday. My name's Kate from Pixie K Designs, and I'm going to be making a Japanese garden themed tag. Recently the Graphics Fairy released a bundle on their premium site called Japanese Garden, and I really loved the images in that bundle and thought that I would make a tag around that theme. I've printed out a few of the images out of that bundle. I printed out this image here, which is printed at 50% on plain paper. It's actually slightly heavier than 80 GSM. I think this is 100 GSM, just plain copy paper. I then printed out this image, which is onto a paper called butter paper, which is like a sort of semi-transparent sort of light vellum or tracing paper. And then I printed out this, which is one of the printables, a background, and I printed that again on the same paper as that first image, the 100 GSM copy paper. And then I chose two images which I want to cut out to place on the tag, and I resized them and I made them smaller, and I did that onto a Word document and printed them out because I didn't want to print each one out on one big piece of paper, because this is printed onto Epsom Premium Matte presentation paper, so it's a bit heavier, and I think that's easier for cutting out and gluing on. So I've cut these down, and then I'll decide how much of those I want to use, but at this stage I think I'm just going to stick this on to the whole tag, and I'm just going to use glue stick for that. I'm just going to glue lots and lots of glue onto the tag, and so the whole background will be the blue paper, the blue floral. I have just cut a tag base from just some basil sort of cardstock, and it measures about just over 3 inches by 6.5-ish, and then I'm just going to cut around. So there we have the base. My other two images, I really want this piece of script here, so I think that's going to go on the side there, but I'm going to ink these edges because I don't like the white. I'll just take my ink and just disguise the white. That's because I've torn them, and I quite like that being torn. I think it goes with the fact that this is a really rough, grungy sort of image anyway. And in fact, it doesn't even really need to be straight, the edge, but I have done it straight. And before I tear that off, though, that's not. Okay, so I'm going to tear that one there. And that's going to go on that edge there. And then I want to use quite a lot of this image. And initially I had it underneath, but I think I'm going to pop it over the top. Maybe that way, but I think that needs just a little bit of ink on that edge too, because it's a bit white. And I think I'll pop that one like that. So very simple. And then I need to go about cutting out these two images here. So the lady's a little bit simpler than the flower, but I'll speed this up. I've managed to cut the flower out as best I can. I have got a little bit of white around the edges. I may actually try inking that, but I'm going to lay it down first on the tag and get an idea of how I want it all to sit. I really love this flower image, and I hope that I don't have to. I may just need to snip off that leaf there. And I was wondering about actually placing my lady underneath a little bit. So kind of layering her like that. So that's what I've got. And I think I'll start gluing that down. I might take a little bit of ink to some of the really white bits on my fussy cuts. And parts of this leaf here that are quite... The other option would be to cut the whole thing with a white border, but I decided I didn't want to do that. Oops, let's not try not to let any of the bits fall off. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is glue on my this piece here. I'm just going to use some art glitter glue. Just lay that down along the edge. And then for this, because the fussy cut lady and flower are going on top. So again, I'm just going to try and line that up. This glue's not very forgiving. Got to be quick. Oh. And the glue should dry clear. And then we start working with our flower. So the best way I know how to do this is to just lift up parts of the layout and add glue to them rather than trying to take it off, because I know that's where I want her to sit. And then I'll glue my plant, this part of it anyway, down on top of her. So I can go back and add more glue to the bits that I've missed, or the bits that are catching. Glue that there. I'm just going to lift up my little flower there. Glue that down and then lift up my Japanese lady. I probably should have done the flower first, the stalk. So I'm just going to do that now. You do need probably a glue with a little fine tip so you can get all those little details glued down. So most of that's glued down, but like I said, you can go back and get all the little bits that are lifting that you think might catch that you don't want to, or you alternatively could have them a little bit lifted up so there's some dimension to the tag. I'm probably just going to snip that off the edge. We'll tear this off. That hasn't torn very neatly, so I'll use my scissors. Okay, so there's our tag. I'm simply just going to put a hole in the top. I'm trying to just eyeball the center. Well, I'm measuring the center. So it's about there. We want to make sure we don't do it too low. And then I'm just going to ink some hole reinforcers. Very simple. I like this dark green ribbon. Thread it through, put the ends in like that and pull it up. There we are, that is the tag, the Japanese garden tag. Very simple, plain on the back for journaling or as a gift tag. And that's my tag this time for Tag Team Friday. I hope you like it, and I hope the fussy cutting didn't put you off. Again, you could actually do this whole thing on Photoshop and print it out. that's another option if you're savvy in that way. But I really enjoy the fussy cutting and the layers and the texture that it creates. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.